It's a big deal that we have such a huge onslaught of products coming from BMW in India. And of course, one car that has always mattered a lot to the portfolio is the 5 Series. We now have the 8th generation, and for the first time, it's available in its long wheelbase avatar here in the Indian market. Let's talk about that and the strategy around what's happening with products like that one with a very special guest who's joining us here for in charge of several markets. I'm not going to try and remember all of them, but Philippe Parain is joining us right now. It's wonderful to see you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks for your time. So firstly, congratulations on the car. For us, it's like I was saying to you, the world luxury car is finally in India. This has always traditionally been a very important model, also in our market. This car made us wait a little bit for the long wheelbase. So let's start with that part of the strategy. Where did that idea first begin, and why was it important to do that?
Well, looking at the behavior of the customers here in India and the time spent in the vehicle, a lot of customers using the driver, I think it's quite obvious that we have to think about also the customer being in the back, being driven, and that rear seat orientation, comfort, luxury is extremely important for this market. Also, the success of our 3 Series long wheelbase has proven that when you have the right product offer, then you are by far leading the market. So now we have 3 products with the new 5 Series long wheelbase. We have the 3 Series long wheelbase, the 5 and the 7, and we believe we are getting closer to the needs of the Indian customers.
It's interesting when on the stage you mentioned in the presentation that now you have the largest portfolio of long wheelbase cars. I hadn't thought of it that way, but it's true. The reason I want to dwell on that is because, of course, the natural tendency is to react to the fact that, hey, you had the competitor offering us a product, previous generation product with the long wheelbase. But the point you make about the experience with the 3 Series long wheelbase, that would have given you a lot of confidence as well.
Absolutely, and that's why we have fought hard to ask our engineers, our headquarters, to develop a right-hand drive version of this 5 Series long wheelbase. India is the first country in the world where we will launch this right-hand drive version, and I guess, as you were also guessing, that it will give ideas to other markets, because there are many markets where indeed quite a lot of time is spent in the back, where space is important, and we believe that's a perfect answer to that need.
How is this car different from the long wheelbase in China?
Well, it's the same basis, obviously, sure. But there are a few... you see also that the design is different from the 5 Series short wheelbase. Yeah. You have a sort of integration of the M Sport package that we know in short wheelbase markets. So the car is looking sportier. You have also much more parts that are in body color, which makes also the car more sporty and elegant. So that remains, obviously. However, we have a few adjustments that are, let's say, done still between China and India, and it's really perfectly done for India.
The reason why I asked that question is because the buyer profile is a little bit different. And we've seen that there's a tendency to try and find a good balance between the performance, which is important to the BMW brand, maybe not as much as some of your rivals, but also the luxury or the comfort aspect that goes with sitting at the back. Was that a difficult spec for you to create?
I mean, again, our car, even if it's an extended long wheelbase, remains a pure BMW with all its DNA, with the sheer driving pleasure, with all the dynamic capabilities and I would say assets that we have. But indeed, there is more comfort, more space, and the long wheelbase is extended with roughly 12 centimeters compared to the short wheelbase. So the customer has much more space, also a roominess feeling. There's some luxury comfort features that are not existing in the short wheelbase. So I guess overall the offer is much more consistent to the need here in India, and it offers, I would say, more value for the money you spend.
Oh, for sure. And of course, as we've all been saying, the pricing has already gotten quite a great reaction, so pretty aggressive pricing. The point about the i5, and then through that, of course, electric as a portfolio, India remains a market where things have not maybe gone as quickly as in some other markets. But having said that, do you find that there's a shift now? Do you find that there's more of the conversations happening, especially coming from the dealerships to the India headquarter and then from the India headquarter to you when it comes to more electrics?
Yes, I think it's a marathon. We are really investing a lot into this transformation. Of course, in terms of training for our teams internally, but also with our dealer partners, and to make sure they are properly trained, properly informed in terms of charging infrastructure, whether it's charging infrastructure at our dealerships. We have roughly 50 DC chargers already installed in our dealerships. Destination charging is also a topic. And we also invest to try to explain and demonstrate this technology towards our customers. If you look at the 7 Series, today 50% of the cars are i7. So I think there's a take-up that is increasing, and we have to fuel, of course, this transformation. There are obviously tax advantages to that, and that's very important. That's a key part of the equation. But I think it's also the government agenda to go towards independency in terms of energy, and for sure the adoption of BEV technology helps, and we will really continue to offer BEV products. We have worldwide grown our BEV sales with 35%. We are selling more with BMW than our 2 main German competitors together in terms of electric sales. So I think we have a very strong position, and we are the 3rd brand worldwide in terms of electric sales. So we want to build on that superiority and push our advantage further.
Well, in India too, the sales of the iX have surprised many people. So I will leave it at that. But the reason I asked that question in the context of the 5 Series is because in the past, diesel used to be a big part of that portfolio. What are you picking up on that? What does the market intelligence tell you? Is there still a requirement for you to consider doing a diesel variant, or should it be a hybrid variant?
We see the adoption of diesel going down also in India, like in the rest of the world. Of course, if the market demand is there, we will consider it. But at the moment, we believe it's not necessary. Again, for us, the priority was to offer a solid and good petrol version. We have the i5 also available. And if there's a very strong diesel demand, we will look at it. But our focus at the moment is on our 530 line.
And what about a hybrid? Do you think there's any need for you to worry about that right now?
I don't think so. I mean, again, if you want to push OEMs to produce in India, then you can't necessarily, with the scale of the market, offer all technologies. And I would not see what is really the added value for the Indian customer.
Yeah, there's no policy towards hybrids in India. Not yet.
But I think it would just be a bit maybe confusing for the customers, and would delay the transformation towards electromobility. If it's the agenda's political, the government's agenda, then probably the focus should remain on electric vehicles.
On the SUV side, do you think that the diesel conversation is still more robust?
We still have the diesel technology in our portfolio. We are technology open.
And it's popular.
Flexibility is one of our key success factors. Of course, we continue to offer diesel, especially on big SUVs. But when you speak about local assembly of vehicles, then we can't offer all the technologies because just the scale doesn't allow it. So but for sure, SUVs will see also in the future generation a sort of similar flexible concept where the car can be petrol, diesel, plug-in hybrid in some markets, and electric,
and of course BEV. Last couple of years, we've seen the growth of the business in India becoming very solid. We've seen some great numbers. This year, again, the projections for the first half have been great with the kind of numbers that have come in, despite this being a tough first half for the industry. What are your expectations from the India business? Would you like to see this dominance continuing? I'm not asking you the number 1 and number 2 question, but just in terms of BMW within the regions that you operate in.
So what I'm really very pleased to see is that India is one of the fastest growing country for the BMW brand. It's in the top 3 worldwide. It's number 1 fastest growing country in my region. So India is getting more and more relevance, even if the total volume remains relatively low. But I think this growth path is very important, and we definitely see growth also in the second half year, of course supported by new products that are, I would say, very much expected by our customers.
Now, the 7 Series plays a huge role in the shape of the brand in the market. And we've seen the current new generation doing really well in India, as you just mentioned.
We are leader in our segment.
Absolutely. And with the i7 by a long shot. When it comes to the 5 Series, it's always been a huge amount of the volume has focused on this car in the past. And then, of course, you've got contribution from cars like the X1, which are really sort of ringing in a lot of sales. What's that one area you'd like to see covered, or let's say a product category that you think you still need to fill that gap with?
Well, I think that was, we were not on par with our direct competitor with the 5 Series. Obviously, again, long wheelbase is a key asset to be successful in this market. So we see a strong growth potential, conquest potential. Yeah. And again, we believe we offer more value for money with this concept than we used to. So that's one of the main segments where we have to improve. And I think we have everything to do it now.
Now you have the car, absolutely.
Yeah.
But is there something specific you'd like to see maybe in a year from now when it comes to your position in India?
Well, look, we are not obsessed. It all depends. We want to grow profitably, and we want to continue to grow, certainly, and to also grow with our dealer partners. What is important is to gain segment share and market share, and that's where we're focusing.
Well, the good news is in the last couple of years, you've also expanded the market. So congratulations to you. Congratulations on the launch. And hope to meet you at the next one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.